Hey Ardit, how about doing another video?
Sure.
I was thinking cardstock only.
Just cardstock?
Yes.
Oh, I think we can make that work.
Well, let's just do it then. I've got 4 rectangles that I will tape together. I use regular tape, like the plastic kind that doesn't tear or stretch, which will work best for my plan. These will fit on a card base cut from a half A4 size, so I can get 2 cards out of one. Now make sure the tape is at the edges too. I will show you why in a bit. So this is the card taped together, nicely tucked together and seamless. And I'm going to emboss, and I mist the back with some water. This will help stretch the paper a bit. And I add the paper in the embossing folder. I'm going to put the embossing folder at an angle on the platform, and this will make it easier to run it through. You can see some drops on the card, but it didn't crack, and these drops will dry, so no worries there. And here you can see that you will get some gaps if you don't tape the sides. Now this will also happen when you use tape that can stretch a bit, and if you have some gaps you can fix this with adding some strips on top of the seams or add the separate pieces on a card with some space in between. I added the card to a white note card. I cut out the circle and added foam on the back for some cheap and fast dimension. I cut off the bit of the circle that is sticking out, and I cut a butterfly out of the 5th color of my color scheme. And it's a Scribbly butterfly from Holtz, and all the set that is still very cool. And I added 2 layers of white for some extra dimension, and I glue it on the circle, and then I put on an acrylic block to let it dry. I made the other card in the same way, and I like the added white in between, but you can go either way. So let's check in with Ardit again. What colors do you want to use? How do you pick yours? I love sort of weird color schemes.
You know me, I can't choose. I always go with a rainbow.
You're so clever. That kind of solves any color issue. For the next card I have the same rectangles. I have the colors together, and I like the look of the light next to the bright color. It looks more balanced. And I'm going to add a white strip in the middle. I find the added white makes the color pop more. I cut off the bits that are sticking out and I trim the edges, but first on with the second card. I taped and embossed the rectangles using different colors, so I have the same start design, but I will step it up a bit. I have some flowers and greens, and these are from Holtz sets that are still available and also still fun to use. So now I'm going to fuss about with the flowers a bit, using the circle to see where they need to go for a nice composition. I want them visible but get rid of any weird gaps, so I keep measuring with the circle, basically just have some fun making a nice stack. I use glue because that works easiest. The shapes are pretty small. For some bigger shapes you could also use hot glue. And I also use up all the small pieces and rearrange them a bit so they can peep out from under the flowers. Now at the top it's simple because I use the one green piece, so I add that one first with the flowers on top. I add tape to the back of the circle, and I just follow along the side of the circle to add the tape. Now you can use glue. I like tape, it's pliable and fast, and my favorite to use whenever possible. I add the circle and cut off the excess bit, and then I add the butterfly. And so here are the first cards, the simple ones I started with and the one with some extra added bits. And let's step it up one more time. I have the flower at the bottom, the same as the previous card. For the top I have another branch, or what the right word is, and I measure again with the circle to make a nice flower branch or greenery stack. And now some layers to put on top of the circle. I have cut a few tags and part of one. Great to use up some scraps. I fold the yellow one so it fits on the circle, and then I add the other tags to the back. Don't be afraid to cut up a tag or use just pieces or parts if that fits your design better. I add some tape, use glue if that's your adhesive of preference or whatever's closest to you. Then I'm going to add the stack, and I finally add the butterfly on top. Now just know you can stop at any time. I wanted to show you some different options and I hope it sparked your imagination. And by the way, if you're interested in a craft along session with me, make sure to sign up so I can keep you updated on that. The link is in the description box. Now these are the cards Ardit made, so come and check out her video. It's here, like this is it. And make sure to subscribe to her channel because she is lovely and has tons of inspiration for you. And we both think you should always keep on crafting.